Where do you represent? In which part of your city do you fly your flag? When we were lads, we represented where we came from with graffiti sprawled on the walls of our neighbours' houses. Faces of Ozymandias look upon our kingdom. It stretches from that chip shop round by the pub and back up to the dilapidated terraced houses where abandoned street sofas are our thrones. See our mighty empire and be fearful. My older friends, local brethren of childhood, represented our area in a car outside the cemetery in the barrenness of winter, wearing the same old tracksuits and waiting hours for a customer. The neighbour boy. He represented our area by taking an air rifle into our school and shooting it off in the face of a 13-year-old kid. Neighbour boy, what have you done for where you come from by this? Neighbour boy, to promote where we're from by destroying our kin is how we represent what we fear is not worth representing. Neighbour boy. It has been years and I've grown to a man. All my childish behaviour is spent. I no longer care about where you proclaim, and I care about what you represent. And don't tell me it's a sportswear brands that enslave you. Don't tell me it's a new phone, the new game, it's old news. I have told you, my friend, there is more to life than this. There is someone out there who sees us as one big mound of dirt and he doesn't want us to realise it. So tell me now, will you really represent? Or will you carry on killing our children until there ain't none of them left? If you pick the latter, then you may stand there amidst our once inhabited houses, arms spread and cry out, look upon my kingdom. It now stretches through empty streets and the gutters are littered with the past relics of bygone times when there was still hope for us. A football as punctured as the heads of your foes, and now no one remembers these roads. See my mighty empire and be fearful. Neighbour boy, where have you gone? Neighbour boy, when I go from city to city spreading my words, that is how I represent. When I tell the council who I am and what I stand for, that is how I represent. When I go to underprivileged schools, the same schools that we went to teach the kids of the next generation, that is how I represent. And what is more, I will not die for the place I was born. I want to make the place I was born worth living for. That is how I represent. And when I go back home, to the place I come from, the people who never left it recognise me, though my face no longer blends with the tarmac. And I will sit and have drinks as I used to with the people I will always love, who still occupy the houses to the chip shop and back, and I will tell them, this is where we were raised, but this is not for what we were meant. We are not just what we are born as, we are how we reinvent, but I will always cherish the place where I realise this at length, for this is not just where I come from, this is what I represent. My name is Tommy Sissons. I'm a poet, a playwright and an educator. My book, Goodnight Son, came out in June 2016. And we're going to be talking a bit about what's inspired me and the true stories behind the book. I have a mate that's part of HSG, so we're going to go and speak to him, members of FNF. So what does HSG stand for? What does FNF stand for?
FNF is family, no friends. We don't have friends, we have family. And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
That it's a movement. And then we pushed it into music. HSG.
Wall Street Gens. Wall Street Gens, innit, man? That's just us, innit?
So
like, we've been friends for years, innit? Family, innit? You know?
Yeah, we don't put all our dreams on it. You know, that there's certain people, they put their dreams like, yeah, I'm gonna get signed, I'm gonna be famous, and then they don't, and then next thing you know, they're signing on the job centre depressed. Like, that's dead. Like, we do it for us, and then I suppose that's why more people are liking it, because it's real, innit? Like, straight to the point.
So you said you wanted to use it as a tool to get out. What are you getting out from?
This country.
This country?
Like, how many homeless people do you see? sleep on the side of the roads. How many like old people do you see walking down the roads like falling over? How many like, do you know what I mean? You're letting like, and then they're cutting like the mental health things for that our mental health people. So what are they supposed to do? Just carry on going and jumping off each head? That's dead. Like, come on, you can't be doing that. You need to transfer the funds into what you really need to do it in, and stop talking about immigrants and that, because immigrants built our country. They need to fix up the thing proper, and then maybe all the youth will start respecting the government, because at the moment no one don't respect them.
Yeah.
Like, you think I don't phone police? Someone burgled my house and I ain't phoning police.
London Road is basically, it's a very central place, and it's always been part of my growing up anyway. This is the place that we used to come after school and that, lads would be going in McDonald's or whatever, or yeah, I mean, it's always been here. This is a place that you'd get served your first drinks when you're like 15 from the local shop or whatever, and we've had a lot of laughs down here, but there's also been a lot of challenging times as well. I think it's around these areas that me and my friends have had to do a lot of growing up very quickly. When the sun goes down, it's not always the nicest place to be around. And for instance, in the McDonald's down there, a lad was stabbed 2 days ago, and really it's a community place. Like, I love it to bits, but just being around it has sort of tested our abilities whilst growing up, and it's been there as we as boys have turned to men, and that's what Goodnight Son is all about. It's about our journeys as young men in Britain, and how we sort of mature. And some of us have gone on to do extremely well and be successful. Some of us have settled down early and started having families. Some of us are in prison, and some of us just aren't around anymore for a variety of different reasons. And it's just another one of the places that's really inspired Goodnight Son and enabled me to create it truthfully and speak about my own experiences and the experiences of my friends and people that I know. We're on our way to go and speak to Ibby's mum. She's been through a lot of stuff after what happened to Ibby. Yo, he's saying, you good? Say thank you for allowing us to come and talk to you. Could you tell us a little bit about where we are in your shop and what it's in aid of?
Oh, this is a SIWA charity shop, and it says Striving the Way of Allah. We supporting education back in Africa, building schools. We got school running there now at the moment, which from what we make in the shop, pay every month the teachers' salaries that run the school, that teach at the school.
So, I mean, obviously we've come to talk about Ibby. I remember Ibby at school. I remember him being a very fun guy to have around, and we had a lot of laughs while we were at school. Could you tell us a little bit about what he was like? He
went to school, to Vandin School, and he used to support Manu. He used to support Manu. He went to football. He took part in a film called Bully from his school, like bully and racism and things like that. And yeah, he was a very funny kid.
No, I always remember him playing about with his football at all times. I mean, yeah. No, I have a lot of fond memories of Ibby like that. If you had to say what, it's hard to pinpoint, but what's one of your fondest memories of Ibby?
Well, it's when he used to put his trousers right up here and come to the living room and lift his bum up dancing in front of us, and I would just push it. I said, get out of my way, you know, it's those things. And
so, I mean, could you tell us about the events that led up to him going out to Syria? Why do you think he went out there in the first place?
This is a question that I've never been able to answer. Like for Ibrahim was beaten 1 week after he had an operation, and we complained, nothing was done. We've moved 11 times. We've gone through racial harassment. He's been attacked in the job center, and up to this, nothing happened. The kids grow up seeing this. You think they will love the environment? When they are ready, they say integration. They're not integrating. How can they integrate when they grow up in such a situation? How will they be able, they're not welcome. How will they make an effort to integrate? There's no way. If I'm growing up in an environment where they call me Paki, they call me a nigger, they beat me up, and so how will I be able to integrate? And I don't take the matter in my hand. I complain to the authorities and they do nothing. How will I integrate? How do they have the child? That's the root cause of the problem. It doesn't just happen overnight. No, nobody cares about them. That these are kids that have grown up here and things, and they just left like that, lost their lives and leave the parents in agony and things, and nobody cares. They don't do anything about it. It's like they are nothing. They never existed. Nobody cares. All you see on the TV, radical, fanatic, all these things, they label the kids, young kids that were here, that they themselves have suffered racism and all things, and they don't, that's why when they keep interviewing me, but they never put all what I tell them. I told them to be able to help and stop this kind of thing, they have to be sincere, just if they really want to help this kid, and honest, just sincerity and honesty, but they are not honest. They only put on the TV what they want people to see. Oh, they have been radicalized. They have been... I said you have to go to the root cause of the problem. Why these kids were easily radicalized then? Why was it easy for them to listen to foolish people that come to them that are not their family members, that they know only a few hours or God knows how long? I was angry with him until after some times people have told to say, still your son and things, because I was like, how can he look at me and his brothers and listen to a stranger and just leave us behind and go? So I said to him, I find it in my heart to forgive you, and I'm here for you. No matter what, I still love you. I say, if you need anything, I'm here. And so we started communicating. Yeah, and then I asked him about the passport, because I want to hear from his mouth and that he took the passport. Because I went already to the police and told them the day he called me that he's gone, that he's in Syria. I asked him, I say, Muhammad's passport was missing here. I said, did you take it? He said, yes, I took it. And then I said, the people that brainwash you people, I said, they're not just cowards. I said, they are criminals. For them to tell you to go and take somebody's property, you say you're going to do jihad. God don't need this kind of jihad for him. You don't do something for God and hurting other people. I say, it doesn't work like that. And then he got angry with me. We had this argument, and then that's when I gave up. I said, no, I can't deal with it anymore. I was already trying to be strong about what he's done, and if he's try to justify something that is wrong that they've done, I couldn't deal with that at that moment. So I traveled to Africa and came back in July, August, September 23rd, 2014. I was in my shop. I called my son around 4 o'clock in the evening. I called him. As soon as I called him, he thought I've heard. But I didn't hear it. He said to me, yes, Mom, I know they've killed Ibrahim. He said they sent me message saying, congratulations, your brother Ibrahim has died a martyr this morning. This is how I got the message. This is what happened. This is all. And I couldn't cry. It was, yeah.
It's horrible.
Funny is the first thing I remember him of, and very respectful and kind.
The day has been long. The night will only be longer, but I am here with you, my son. In this night you may find things changing. Colder indeed, and we may see our breath in our own house, but remember I am here for you, my baby. Our bed will always be warm. Aye, we may have to kick our legs around to heat it up, but we are blessed, you and I, and Basics are enough. Good night, buggerlugs. Dream of sweet peace till the morning. In this night, you may see the boys you once knew who have risen, conquered and fallen, but be not scared. For they are mere shadow puppets on the ceiling, and you will not find them unless you call them out. It is you that keeps their hearts beating. So dash the riches, dash the finery, and dash what the pompous believe, indulgence and luxury, but too thinly veiling sheets. And should you find yourself an adult in comfort with your needs, be glad, but let it be known of all that died on childhood's streets. Good night, Babsy Head. Let's lay the storybook down, and I shall hold you tight till you sleep, despite 2 laughs or frowns in this night. Just remember the beauty of the world. It is not there when you search for it, but you will find it instead in the least likely of places and directly ahead. So, good night, lad. Good night, love. We have a long day ahead of us tomorrow, but it will be perfect all the same. Good night, son.